What's up, y'all? Welcome to Let's Talk Freedom, where the talk is cheap, but at least the thoughts are free. I am the man with the plan, the voice of the streets, Mr. Two Watches, so I always know what time it is, 7th Ave. And with me, as always, we got my man down there at the bottom. He's the beautiful dreamer. He's the man you talk to about anime and pop culture. What's up to my man John at the bottom? What's up, homie? Then I gotta say what's up to Professor D, the man in charge of the fight game, the man that gets you vegan right, the man that gets you that sea moss. Anything you need, holler at the boy. He got you to get your body on point. What's up to Devar? What's up, man? And
What's
then,
happening?
as
What's happening?
always, we had the CEO of Urban Country Films, the man that can make you a star, the man that can take you and make you profitable, and you can take your own shit. You get paid off yourself, and you don't gotta pay nobody else. Mr. Andre, what's
What's
up, Dre?
happening? What's happening? What's happening, man? Long time no see, man. Seen you on a trip. Seen you on a trip back to the hometown.
Had to go home, bro. Had to do my little memorial service for my homeboy. I got to see his mama, and I'm gonna tell you right now, that hug I got from his mom,
It was
bro,
worth
that
it.
put my heart to peace, dog.
Man, I bet, man.
I
That's what's
mean,
up.
yo, just her seeing me there, she's like, "Oh my
Yeah,
God, I can't believe you really came, bro. I really appreciate this."
of course.
And if Jimmy was here, Jimmy would have said straight up, like, "Yo, we got Lucci up here, man. Look at this shit. We
That's
got
what's
that boy
up.
out of Florida for a change."
It sucks that as we get older, the only time we go home is to bury something.
Oh man, that's
That's
tough.
a
Me,
rough one, man.
Give me one
I
second,
try
guys.
to
I got an important call coming in. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
I
do your
try to go
thing.
every 2 years just to, kind of touch base with home. You know what I mean? Like I said on a previous show, the 3 6 Mafia show they had in the Adventures in Hollywood on MTV. They were trying for the first half of the season to get a new song out, get a new song out. They couldn't do it. They went back to Tennessee for a couple days, got some barbecue, got to see the fam and shit. Came back and dropped Doughboy Fresh, which was a hit for all for all I'm saying. You know what I mean? It was a charted hit. So sometimes you just gotta go home to get your mind right.
So you
I
rejuvenated.
agree.
Yes, most definitely.
Awesome, man. Sorry about the reason, but
I mean, my man's passed away last year, and it really took its toll on me. It affected my mental health, and it was really hard for me to deal with, especially not being able to go say goodbye. And then being able to go up there, see his moms, see all the people on the label I was signed with, seeing all the people that was there when we had our moment in the sun. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
kind of, it kind of brought me back to where I need to be mentally.
yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I got a question
Also,
before we get
the
the show started. Do you think that's something that we as men kind of go through as far as like holding back those emotions and feelings and then they get suppressed so much to where something happens like this, it starts to come out involuntarily? You know what I
almost
mean? Like
definitely.
what do we do to kind of like get past that? Because
Well,
we get so caught up with day to day that you always, we always put things off and say, you know what, I'll get to it, or I'm gonna come visit. Don't worry, I'm gonna go do this. And next thing you know, something like this happens. I had that happen to me. My uncle was reaching out to me all the time, and when he passed away, this was right in the middle of Corona, and I was supposed to go back to Jamaica. He was dealing with cancer, and you know, we um we made a breakthrough with him, and we thought we could help him. But it was too little, too late. You know what I mean? But when he first got diagnosed, he'd been reaching out to me, and it was to the point where kept saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it." Till my cousin called me one day. He was like, "Yo, man, just book the next ticket." I was like, "Damn, okay, I ain't really got it like that, but you know what? It is what it is. Let's go ahead and do it." And we did, and we
Yeah.
went, and I regretted not doing that earlier. And it changed my whole perspective on things, man. It changed,
I had a I
my
had
whole
I
a
mean,
outlook on life.
I had a situation like that too. Really close to home. My mom used to live with me, bro. She fell on some bad times and she was living with me for about a year. And that was like right after my big son was born. So she got like, they living it when you have a house structure with grandma and a brand new baby in the house, like that bond be so freaking close. Like, that's always it's a ridiculous bond regardless. But when they're in the same house, the bond is just like crazy. So anyway, my mom moved back home. She moved away, and she was a few miles away, I guess. And that time I didn't have a car. I was on some bad times, and I didn't have a car. And I was moving around on a bus, so I was only going like where I had to go. You know what I mean, type of thing. And definitely not trying to bring my 2-year-old son around with me on the bus. You know. But my mom was like reaching out. She kept on reaching out. Like, yo. The last time I spoke to my mom, she was like, yo, I'm dying to see my grandson, man.
Wow.
The next phone call I got, she was in an aneurysm with some, she was in the hospital with an aneurysm and couldn't talk.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah. Talk about no closure.
But you know, how do we take responsibility for that, and how do we correct the behavior? Because I think it starts now. The people who are alive now that you hold near and dear to your heart, like, we got to reach out. Yeah, what's going on, John?
I think eventually, depending on your clarity and your first experience with death, and start to gain an idea what time actually is. The more you know your mortality rate, and
Right.
that you aren't promised tomorrow. It's not just a saying, but everybody's on a finite amount of time.
Yeah.
You don't know when yours expires. You don't know when anybody's expires. So start trying to make time. That's the one thing that you have plenty of, but never enough. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So once you get a better depth of understanding on how time actually works, and for a limited time on this earth, as well as your loved ones, you actually start, you start making all that time to actually go do these things. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of times people don't even realize that shit until they're much older. Because in your 20s and 30s, you feel like you're fucking invincible. In your 30s,
Nothing could happen to you. You just running around. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah. And, late 30s, you start slowing down a little bit, but you still, you're trying to trick yourself. I'm still a young cat. But get a little older, and then once you start seeing people fall around you from natural causes, it becomes like a wake-up call.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
I mean, what we need to do as men is break a couple of the stigmas. And one of the stigmas is like, yo, men ain't supposed to have feelings. We ain't supposed to show our feelings. I let all of my friends know that I love them. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are like, oh, that's some sucker shit. That's soft as fuck. Telling another man you love him. But it's necessary. You need to understand that
agree.
these people that are part of your life are not going to be there forever. And you got to let them know that you appreciate them. Like, my best friend in the world still lives in Ohio. I got to go see him for a little bit. Wish it could have been longer. He wishes I still lived around there and whatnot. I made sure to let him know that, like, yo, bro, you my longest friend I've had. You the best friend I've had, and I fucking love you, bro. I ain't never had nobody give me the type of loyalty that this person gave me. Like, this is the one person, if I really needed to talk to somebody, I could call him at any time and he'll answer the phone. And John, you gonna love this, bro. He sent me back something that I got to share with you that I know you're gonna appreciate. He gave me this motherfucker right here.
Fuck yeah, dude.
My homeboy is a huge wrestling fan, and he dropped me with the Ultimate Warrior flag.
I was wondering what the hell it was
Nice.
that. I'm looking
That's
at it
the
like,
Ultimate
okay, what
Warrior,
is that?
The dude that was sitting in with me last week, that was this year is our 20th years. It's our 20th year anniversary of being friends.
That's what's up.
Like, dude, I mean, and I'd expressed that to him, like, because we're sitting down grabbing a little food afterwards, and I'm like, hey, man, you realize we've been fucking friends for 20 years? And it's just like, don't even seem that long, but I definitely agree, man. You should tell the people that you care about that you appreciate them.
I even told him, like, yo, bro, when I first met you, I had every intention of stealing your girlfriend because his girlfriend was my homeboy's sister. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna snatch her up. I'm gonna snatch her up. My homeboy was like, yo, she got a man. They've been together for a while. Out. If you can, more power to you. First time I meet dude, he looked at me. He's like, yo, you smoke weed? I said, yeah. He's like, you like video games? I said, yeah. Like, you like wrestling? I said, yeah. Want to smoke a blunt and fucking play a wrestling video game? Best friends ever since.
That's it.
Best friends ever since. Me and this man, we done built record labels together. We done thrown shows together. We done rock shows together. We done recorded countless number of songs. And like, he's one of the godfathers of my son. He was pretty much the best friend you could ever have, bro. Like, the stories that we have are fucking timeless.
That's awesome, man.
I would
And the
love
one thing that we hold on is those memories.
Gotta do a short one on my homeboy. Next time I can get him and one of my other friends from back home, which is like best friend. We've been friends for like damn near 30 years. Since I was a little less, about 27 years. But that was my first friend back home. And to this day we're still like brothers, but I gotta do like a little side recording or whatever and just talk shit about stories, man. It's some fucked up shit. And it's always fun to go down memory lane, you know, when reminiscing.
But we are doing a show.
No, we're not.
Right, so what do we got on tap for today?
Well, might as well kick it off with the shooting that happened in Nashville. Did you guys hear about it?
Nashville? Nah.
I heard about a shooting in Atlanta.
Georgia. I heard the one in Georgia.
Yeah, the Atlanta.
Man, out in Nashville, a taser cop tried to use the taser and it was an epic fail. Ended up getting shot up and he ended up shooting back and unfortunately the lady died, but there's video out there to where he went to go and make an arrest. Now, if you look on the news, the way the news showed it, it was officer shoots at black woman and her car was found in a ditch. That's the narrative. That's the story that they painted. When you dive in a little deeper, like, because, you know, people were starting, same narrative. They were starting to protest. They were starting to basically assemble. Then the body cam footage came out from the officer. Now, once you saw the body cam footage, you saw that he was giving her all the chances in the world. Ma'am, don't go in your bag. Just leave your bag right there on the back of the car. She's, I think, smoking probably I don't know, cigarette, Black and Mild or something like that. Like I don't think it was a cigarette. I think it was huge. Could have been weed. I don't think it was weed. But the point is, you know, she was there and she kept going in the bag, even though the officer told her no, you know, don't go in the bag. They were outside of the vehicle and the car had, I don't know if the car was stolen, but it was registered to someone who had a warrant. I don't know if it was her, but he attempted to go and do the arrest. She started running around the vehicle and she was like, no, and getting all frantic and making a scene. And he's like, ma'am, I need you to come here. She goes into the driver's seat, attempts to start the car. He says he's gonna tase her. He tases her for a long time, and she's just taking it. And next thing you know, he said, ma'am, put down the gun, put the gun away. 3 shots went off in his direction. He got hit and then he lit her up and he ended up falling. And she still was able to drive off. And that's when they found the car in the ditch later on, you know, when she died. But
did she have a gun in the car?
She did. She shot the cop 3 times or 2 or 3 times before she discharged her weapon first. And he shot. This happened just this week.
That's probably why it's not. That's probably why it's not.
She was looking for.
Now you don't hear shit about it since the body cam footage came out. And my thing is, you know, this whole sensitivity training thing, he did nothing wrong. Everything that they say you're supposed to do, he did, and it almost cost him his life. Let me tell you something. When someone is reaching for a weapon, I'm sorry, they signed that death warrant. Everything up until that point was protocol. From you reaching for the weapon, like, what are you reaching for the weapon for? Like,
I'm not even an officer.
if I was an officer, I'm sorry,
No,
the car would have been lit up.
I'm not even.
She wouldn't even have gotten the chance
You don't even have to be an
to
officer.
point at me.
If you,
He saw it was a gun and he said, "Put the gun down." Those words wouldn't even come out of my mouth. Put the gun down. You see those syllables? Put the gun down. That would have been
enough.
4 bullets.
That's
That would have been 4 bullets going in that
But
direction.
you need. They say you need. Correct me
You
if I'm
need
wrong.
what?
Hold on. Correct me if I'm
I
wrong.
know you ain't trying to justify this.
Hold on, brother. They
Okay.
say you need, I believe it's 5. You would know better than me. 5
Need
steps.
5 what? Hold
Steps.
on.
Steps.
I gotta put you on the speaker.
Steps in order for you to be correct in justified in your
I got,
in your discharge of your weapon. So for instance, like you have to be able to if you're charged, you have a gun in the car, you need to have it in a thing locked away. So one step, go into the glove box, the other step, pulling the gun out, the other step, aiming the gun, next step, firing the gun, shit like that. This was years ago when so in Florida, this might be completely different now.
Hold on. I'm gonna need you to repeat that. You need 5 steps?
That's what.
He was saying they had like it was like a 3-step law. Like first you had to have a gun locked away and not loaded. First step would be pulling the
Who has
gun
to
out.
have a
Second
gun
step would
locked
be
up?
loaded.
Who are you talking about, the officer or the civilian?
The civilian.
Civilian.
Civilian. In order to be justified using your handgun, you need to have like a 3 or 4 step process. Is that correct or no? I'm not a legal handgun
How
gun
does
owner.
this apply to?
I mean, in the
what?
beginning it
But
was,
I'm just trying to clear it up, dog. That's all.
Ain't nothing to clear up.
But it is but it is something to clear up though, because it's a subject. We're talking about it.
Yeah, but
I understand.
where is it okay for her to reach for a gun?
No, that's what I'm trying to get at.
She signed that death warrant.
Brother, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just trying to put it out in perspective, right? Like, for instance, if let's say the officer, the situation occurred and she had her gun already on her hip or whatever the case might be,
It was in
and
her purse or in the car?
just on her hip. But I'm just saying, suppose it was on her hip, right? Now you could probably say the officer needs to fire right away. But now there's no gun.
No.
Wait.
Not necessarily. She had lethal intent, man.
But you don't know that until she pulls the gun.
What I'm telling you is I saw the video.
But
she was tased. If you're being tased and then you reach for a weapon.
But how does the officer? Okay, so listen, I'm playing devil's advocate with you.
That's fine.
How does the officer?
Hold
on. How does the officer know that it's a gun she's reaching for until he sees the gun?
He did see the gun, and he said put it down twice.
Okay.
2 times.
Right. Now that's what I'm saying. That's 2 different steps.
That cost him 2 or 3 bullets.
That's 2 different steps.
That could have been headshots.
Listen, that's 2 different steps. Huh? Go ahead.
From what I just read, all you gotta do is have the gun securely locked away in the car. That's it.
Securely locked away in the car. Right.
Yeah,
so,
unless it's like a rifle or shotgun or some shit. You can have
there's reason behind that, because now you got to go securely locked away means there's steps you got to take to unlock it, take it out, and move forward.
I ain't see her load shit. The clip was already in there. It was already in the chamber.
Devar, cool out, brother. I'm not trying to tell you that this woman was right, bro.
What if she got a concealed permit?
I'm not trying to tell you that, bro. Just cool out a minute. But what I'm saying is I'm trying to wrap the whole story about it. The reason and what I'm trying to get to is the reason why I think that we're not hearing about it is because the officer was completely justified.
Damn right. That the body cam footage came out. Prior to that, they were painting the same narrative. Don't get me wrong. Foul shit happens with officers involved, and it needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, but most time not.
But
but most times
So in
not.
cases like this, when you're able to suppress the evidence like that and just not let people see it,
But it's
I think it's kind of fucked up.
but you see the thing is, it's the media control. That's what I think is more fucked up. I mean,
Absolutely, I agree
you
100%.
can see the narratives. You know what I mean? Like you can see it wide and, but I mean, it's as blatant as it possibly can be. How much more blatant can you get? That's what fucks me up more.
That
You know
shit
what I'm
is
saying?
crazy to me though.
Because if I'm an officer, listen, I don't even have to fuck if I'm an officer. If I got a tool on me and you got a tool on you and I see you reaching for your tool, I'm lighting
There you
your
go.
ass up before you move. And that's probably why I don't have a tool on me.
I think it needs to go back to the old West days where you say, you know, you want to take this outside, go that line.
Nah,
People don't
niggas
have
ain't
the
got the
discipline
nuts.
for that, man.
Niggas ain't got the nuts
Bruh.
for that these days. Are you
Nope.
crazy?
I did some reading on the Wild West, and like
And wait for
the way they say
someone
the
to
Wild West was, how they paint that picture of it being just like an all-out gun battle every day. It really wasn't like that. Like they said that Billy Kid like killed like 20 some odd people. It's closer to 8. You know what I
There
mean?
was a
Like
certain code that they live by though. They don't have
they-
that nowadays.
they make it seem like the Wild West was really Wild West and motherfuckers was just out there just bucking this shit. But no, they had the same kind of law and shit. Again, but I would say there was less shootings back then just because more people had guns.
Yeah, but
And I said that to this day, bro. There'd be less fucking crime if everybody had a fucking gun on them.
speaking of guns, what is that bill that they're trying to pass? Where you gotta register your bullets and register I don't know if you guys heard about it. You gotta register each gun, you gotta get insurance for your gun, you have to register each bullet or something like that, and they're trying to pass it now.
I don't know nothing about that.
Speaking
Oh,
of
man.
insurance, though, I don't know about that. I never heard about that. But speaking of insurance, I know one thing that would definitely curb the damn police misbehavior, and I'm not talking about changing their training, because the training needs to be rough, and they need to be, when you're dealing with a criminal, you're dealing with somebody that you have to detain, you need to be forceful. Right?
Absolutely.
You-
He
you-
let her run around the car, bro.
You-
She was by the trunk and she took the passenger side way to get around to the driver's side.
Yeah, I don't know.
Double leg, put her on the ground,
Mm-mm.
put her in the handcuffs, but he was chasing her and he tried to tase her. Like he didn't do anything wrong, you know, but
Here's my, but
I mean, he was right in what he did, but he could have been
You're
dead, right?
saying that he properly tried to de-escalate the situation, but
Yeah, that
the chick just got
sensitivity
away
training
from
that
him
they're
and-
doing now.
yeah, that shit
you
is
know?
not good. That shit is not good, bro.
Nah,
That
I
shit is
don't
not
agree
good.
with that shit. You're not
Shit is
supposed to
not
be
good.
sensitive. When
Listen.
you're responding to, they act like there ain't killers out there, man. People, law-abiding citizens and people who are legal gun owners, we fear the same people that are out there terrorizing the neighborhood.
I don't know
You
if
know
y'all.
what I'm saying?
I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, nigga used to be able to run from the police and get away. No,
That's a
okay.
whole different time, man.
I mean-
you
No,
talking
hold
about
on.
when they used to.
That
But
was
you
a
know what?
long-ass
You know
time
what
ago,
though?
No, nigga, I'm
Those
talking
same
about back
police-
in the '90s, dog.
yeah, I'm
No,
saying,
you know
I
that
ain't
the
get away
same
from a
thing
cop
though.
since,
They
like,
used to know
96,
you by
97.
first name too.
Yes.
They used to
Yes.
know you by name. They,
Listen.
oh, there he goes again.
Listen, and right off of 31st, in Lauderdale,
Personal
as soon
relationship
as they
between
come around the
police and
corner,
those
niggas used to
criminals.
take off gunning. Yo, one of my homeboys, he used to steal cars and go joyriding, and take them on a chase, like, and that
I
was
had
his
some
thing.
friends who
But
did
he,
that.
but you already knew, if you got caught, they was gonna beat the living shit out you.
But I
Yeah, and there was
Lauderdale,
no.
bro.
They
There's
was
no
gonna
debating it.
beat
They
the
were gonna put you in
living
county,
shit
beat
out
the shit out you.
You wasn't
post bail, you go back, do the same shit, rinse and repeat.
exactly. But nowadays,
No one died that much though.
No, right.
Nowadays,
But
people
that was the thing.
for stupid shit.
And that was the thing. That's why niggas would take off running, because once your back is turned to them, they can't shoot you. So a nigga would take off running. "Bitch, my back is to you, but you can't do. All you can do is chase me now, and chances are you ain't gonna catch me because you got on about 50 pounds of gear."
But here's the thing though. Now you have
Oh
footage
yeah,
coming out
you
where these
can't.
dudes come and
you
point blank
can't outrun them
range
these
to the
days.
officers, and they
You can't outrun the
these,
computer,
what I'm
bro.
saying is these dudes aren't running now. They're drawing on the officer.
Well, you
remember-
have to
I don't
because
know
you
if you
can't
saw
run
they
them.
were-
You ain't no chance of getting away. So
No,
now you got.
that's not what
so,
I'm saying. 2 officers were in a vehicle
Right.
sitting down. This was, I think, California. Dude ran up point blank and opened fire when they were just sitting in the vehicle. When I say they're not running anymore, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is now they're becoming the aggressors. The people who are supposed to protect.
Where did this happen? Because all right, there's some places.
California.
But where in California though? Because like we both know.
I've heard stories of this happening.
I have someone looking it up right now, and then they said BLM showed up at the hospital saying they hope they died. This was on the news.
So here's the other part of it too. There's some places police can't go. Right? There's some places that the people police themselves. And police is not welcome.
Talking about
there.
Jamaica, that's Tivoli Gardens.
Chill, man.
A crime happened there, and you go to the police station. You can have the suspect, bring him to the police station. They're like, no one deal with that.
No, you can't, because you can't. They can't go there. That's what. But those people, they police themselves. You know what I'm saying? To a certain extent.
People seem like they're trying to do that now, but it's not working out. All right, so check this out. Gunman sought after California deputies shot in patrol car. And they also have the video here too. Like they're sitting in the patrol car, man. I'll send it to you and we'll put it up on
When this happened recently?
Put it up on the site.
On Urban Country, yeah.
Yeah. This was September 13th, last year.
Oh, last year. Okay, that was
And
like
the videos, the video's clear as day.
I think I remember that. I don't remember no video. But you see,
Video is clear as day, man. And then,
but listen, brother.
people showed up to the hospital saying they hope they die. My thing is, if someone does something wrong, like what's that guy's name? Derek Chauvin or whatever his name is. Guy's a piece of shit. He made a bad judgment call that day, and it landed him where he is with the whole George Floyd situation. You know what I'm saying? But to have this idea that, they're painting this narrative like all of them are out there doing the same thing, like that becomes a problem. You know what I mean? Especially in certain communities. Remember, most of these cops, they patrol the same communities all the time. And right now, all communities are on edge. And honestly, I blame the media because of it.
If these cops are patrolling the same communities all the time, I've always said they should have more community outreach where the cops get to know the people in their community, so there's less of a threat to them.
But it used to be like that. Like
I agree, remember, but some do that. But it's like how far can you go with that without the support of
the community?
Like exactly
without the support of the community. But here's the other thing: you can't. It's a thing that both parties involved gotta put effort into. Because I do remember back in those same days when niggas used to run for the police, or for 31st, the freaking captain, whatever captain was on shift, because it was 31st right across the street from Boyd Anderson. Back then, the shit was live. Shit was real live. So the police would hang out, like the cop, whoever that head officer on duty would hang out right there. Like he would hang out, he would talk to the people, like he would know you by name and shit. So when there was a situation, he would, it's somebody you know, so you're gonna definitely think twice about unloading your weapon into him.
Yeah. Yep. And it was more physical back then. Like people didn't necessarily, there were some casualties then, but it was more like they're telling the cops not to be, I guess, as rough now. But I mean, what kind of job you think they have, man? Listen, now they're trying to, there was another incident.
No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, bro. Because and in the same era, you did always have officers that were extra aggressive. Because
absolutely.
I remember, you see, because growing up like that, I had a certain respect for officers, right? And growing up from Jamaica, like police them is what's it called? Got you, John. Police them. Well, like family, you know what I'm saying? Like grow by family, being police officers in Jamaica, coming up here, and like they used to have the police athletic league. The first time I've ever played any kind of organized sports was a PAL, soccer. You see what I'm saying? Because we was in the hood, dog. We didn't afford. Nobody couldn't afford to go. You know what I mean? Go do all of that. Like, this was worried about keeping the lights on.
Dre, speaking of aggressive cops, you remember Stone Cold and Barbed Wire?
Nah.
Hey, real quick, before you get on with that story, speaking of keeping the lights on, take a break.
That's right.
All right, bro.
It's Urban Country Morning. Early in the morning, let's go.
Dear Heavenly Father, I just come before you.
No, it can't, it doesn't have to be a caring hand. It just has to feel like a caring hand.
Bruh.
Are we making masculinity out to be a bad thing then?
All of your life. That's most important to the child is they have the right to have both parents in their life.
Exactly.
Florida.
I just wanted to chime in on the topic.
I'm watching your program here, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we are all the way live right now.
Shout out to our entertainment man. Red Thomas is in the building later on.
Parents simply putting the child's best interest at first.
Hello, you're live.
So
This is amazing. This
Yeah,
is
one more
like,
tape for the shameless self-promotion. Hit up urbancountryfilms.com, euhosting.com.
Come by with us as you shit, shower, and shave. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Urban Country Mornings.
People.
you said let's go back, so we back.
We back.
You know, I don't want to bring everything down.
No. But like I was saying though,
Okay, but do you remember Barbed Wire and Stone Cold?
No,
The
I don't.
BSO. They used to come into our pizza shop all the time.
Oh, downtown.
Yes, these two were the most aggressive cops on the Fort Lauderdale BSO, whatever you want to call them. And last I heard they got caught for misconduct. But
No,
yeah,
I don't
they
remember.
were-
Yeah, but shout out to Downtown Pizza, dog. Downtown Pizza saved my ass so many times with the popo, bruh.
Oh hell yeah, me too.
Yo, listen. Before I know we was on another story, but this one is just great.
Don't incriminate yourself.
I'm coming from. No, it's too late. I'm coming from.
They cancel it. It ain't never too late.
No, man.
Pepe Pew just got canceled. Come on now.
They can cancel. They can try to cancel me all you want. We on Live Peer. Shout outs to Live Peer.
Shout out to Live Peer.
No, I'm coming from my dad's house. So it was like some party. I think it was like a carnival party or something like that, right? And I met some chick, and the chick wanted me to go to another party with her. So, but I was drunker than a skunk, and I'm going to another party and it's carnival time, so you know the drinks are expensive. So I'm like, yo, dude, it's free liquor here. I don't really want to it's free liquor here, so I don't really want to leave this party, but fuck it. I'm gonna bring some liquor with me. So I pour a freaking Hennessy in a cup, like a half a bottle of Hennessy in a cup, and I'm take off. My dad lives like 30 miles away from where I'm going, so I take off. I'm already pissy drunk. And I'm flooring it, yo, coming up the highway. I get off the highway and I'm on Sample Road. And I guess I'm driving like I'm still on the highway. So they lit me up. When they lit me up, he came to the car and he's like, yo, dude, what are you doing? You're driving like a fucking madman. And he was like, what's that smell? Don't tell me that's all fucking Hennessy you got there? Listen, sir, I work for Downtown Pizza. And they train you. That's the first thing you say when you get pulled over by the. Listen, sir, I work for Downtown Pizza. He's like, are you fucking crazy? You're putting me in the worst position right now. Like, you got me so. Pull that damn car over there on the side of the road. And so I take a car over there on the side of the road, and he's like, listen, I'm writing you all these tickets. I'm not gonna take you to jail. I need you to go to court. And when you go to court, say XYZ. When I tell you, and have somebody come pick this car up. Don't you dare try to drive away from here. Cousin came and picked me up, went away from there, went to court, said what he said to say. Everything was clean. Like, but when I tell you, boy, but yeah, they definitely have power, and they can throw the power around how they want to. You know what I'm saying? And that's before you go too far on that story, I have a caller on the line. Caller, you live?
Yeah, man.
Can you guys hear?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't believe it now. Yeah, I feel like there people are make justification to law enforcement and being like not all are bad and all of that stuff. First and foremost, just the institution. Police. If anybody who a black person lived in a New York City in the 90s to 2000, when they have the stop and frisk, you got police officers called ass man. All they do, they stick their fucking fingers up people's asses. They see you as subhuman. Most of the people who police the New York City area live in Westchester. You know what I say? Police. If the police look like the people they're policing, I'm all for self-policing. But this construct we in, yeah, there's a few, but the institution and a whole see us as subhuman. Any police who come out, yeah, police who are kill themselves because of how the structure that they're working in. Nobody's talking about these things. So to hear somebody that make justification like, yo, crime, on average, fewer people are criminals, and even fewer are aggressive criminals. So to just hear this nonchalant talk about any kind of justification for police, that kind of vex me.
Listen, caller. I definitely get your point, and I definitely appreciate your call. At the same time, in the same breath, every officer is not the same. So I mean, what are we gonna do? Because we have a few bad seeds, we're gonna say all officers are bad.
What he mentioned about New York is valid.
I have this thing. If potentially, if I'm looking at like 100 people, and I know within that 100, 20 are friendly, but the other 80 are enemies, I'm not gonna fuck around with those 100 just to be like, no, because the numbers, you got to look at the numbers with how things are, and the numbers don't fare well for people that look like me. So when it comes to law enforcement, no.
But the numbers don't. I do kind of get 1 second, DeVar. I do kind of agree with that, caller. But at the same time, the numbers don't say that we have more bad officers than good officers.
Yeah, what the numbers say.
I don't know how to confirm that. How you confirm that?
You understand that the institution of the current law enforcement institution is a spillover from slave catchers. You do know that.
Okay.
So, like I said, the institution itself and how it was constructed under a time when somebody that looked like I was a subhuman. And it was never destroyed or deconstructed. So it's an institution. And if you go inside there hoping to do good, you're just going to conform and be a part of the system. So, no.
But how does that apply to the incident that we were talking about? Because she draw on the officer first. She let out 3 shots.
So DeVar is asking how does that apply to what the officer to the officer situation that we're talking about, because she's the lady is the one that draw her weapon and actually fired at the officers.
Because everything you're saying is true. I'm just trying to see the connection.
You have to talk about, if we're going to talk about mentality, we have to talk about mentality and the reason why that person had a legitimate fear of the officer and pull her weapon. That you have to talk about. We want to talk about people training the officers. What about the people who are traumatized from the years? Like I said, if you've been in a community like in the Bronx, where they have this fucking thing.
Yeah, but we can't compare everything to a community like the Bronx because, I mean...
No, I'm not saying... What I'm saying is individual. Why was this police? That's the other thing. Why was this police and this altercation with this person happen? What was the cause?
You can watch the video. It's on video, the whole thing. From beginning to end, it's on video.
We can go back to what's the reason and all of that, but in the situation, in the situation, caller, if you have a gun on you, whether you are officer or not, and you're having a situation to where you are trying to calm a person down, and you have a weapon on you, and you see that person is acting irate and is reaching for their weapon, you're going to allow that person to reach for their weapon and do whatever they want with their weapon?
I would like myself. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the subsequent conversation that was having afterwards. Like there is like some justification for law enforcement, like, you know, hey, they all, you know, more good guys, when the policy of law enforcement is fucked up, and we should tell people to speak the truth. I want somebody that look like me, because the people who don't look like me have a preconceived notion of me, and it's like, me are pre, you are pre, me. I'd rather be looking at somebody, make eye contact, and know exactly what the motherfucker is thinking. You see a dude that look like you cross the street, you make eye contact, you nod, or you just go your way. Law enforcement, you look, he look away, you don't know, he don't know. Hey, I don't fucking know, because we're two different people from two different places, and how we know about each other is on TV.
Well,
So,
that's not everybody. That's not everybody that's in that situation, because I look at officers completely different than that. Because, like I just explained, I'm in a completely different situation like that. I know officers. Hell, my son is an officer.
Right now,
But hold on, caller. My son is an officer. I have uncles that's officers. I was raised by officers. I've had officers look out for me when nobody else was looking out for me. So I'm telling you, there are good officers out there.
I think
regardless of how the system. Now, I agree with you about. I do agree with you about the system.
Could I come in real quick? I think we kind of went off.
There's an incident one time. I was in the Bronx. I went upstate New York. In the city of New York, there's guns rules are different. You go into Westchester County, it's different with the gun. I went shooting with somebody. Left a shitload of guns in my vehicle. I called a friend who was living on my floor. He's a nice dude, I thought, until I saw him in action downtown. All law enforcement people are fucking. I don't know. I just had to say what I could say. I thought you guys did it.
All right, caller. Thank you for calling. Yeah, I do. I mean, I agree with the system. Well, you know, I agree with what the caller was saying about the system. The system needs to be overall.
There's nothing wrong with what he's saying. It's just the incident that we were talking about is on video. There's no debate. There's no like talking about the institution is one thing.
Right.
Talking about the reform and everything, that's one thing. We're talking about an incident where everything that was supposed to be done that they're trying to put in place was done. And he took 3 bullets because of it, and he retaliated. This is one incident. See, when you're talking about the collective, that's a whole different story. We're covering this incident that happened 2 days ago, just 2 days ago, and how they were framing it in the beginning until the body cam footage came out. Everything else after that, yes, I agree. There's validation. There's valid argument in what the caller was talking about, but how does it connect to this? And I saw the video, and everyone needs to watch the video. That's another thing. We can't make assumptions based on like, oh, what about her trauma? What about this? What about that? If you look at the video, it shows a different picture from the body cam footage. It's different. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you see the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. And you know, that's another thing too. Like, we really have to look at things in a certain perspective, because, you know, everyone always says, you know, I think in the morning show, you had someone who said she was happy because now there's a VP that looks like her, you know, and the caller was like, good. You know, I'd rather have someone that looks like me. You got to be careful with that as well. You really have to know who it is you're dealing with, and we have to put everyone under that same lens. You know, there are certain people who look just like us who do not necessarily have our best interests in mind. And if you give them a pass and you put that guard down and you don't let them go through the same scrutiny or the same criticisms, and you just kind of give someone a pass like that, it may not turn out the way that you think it is or the way that you think it should be. You know, there's a whole lot to unpack, but we kind of went off of the story. My idea was talking about the story. And right now, they're also trying to take away certain officers for certain jobs. Like the one lady that I was telling you about who went to go get her stuff from the house, and the guy came back out and opened fire. That had nothing to do with the officers. His target was his ex. The officers just happened to be there, and he went and sprayed everyone. There's certain things we can justify, and there's certain things that we just cannot. His target was not the officer. The officers were there to assist her in removing her belongings there, and they ended up taking bullets because of it. And it's like, at what point do we draw the line when it comes to that? Because now imagine they do what they want to do now, which is put social workers in the place of the officers in an incident like that, to where the social worker is supposed to escort a woman who's in a domestic violence case to go and retrieve her belongings. Do social workers carry weapons? I think they ended up killing the guy, but I mean, I don't know if any officers died, but they were assisting this woman in getting her stuff. You know, it's a lot of red tape, man. It's a lot to go on, but I mean, there's so much to unpack in these things, but you got to look at the incident itself, and the incident that is in question, there's videotape. And before we can have any kind of discussion about it, you got to watch the tape, because shoulda, woulda, coulda, it's recorded. Once you see it, you see what I'm talking about, and there's no justification for it. But what else are we talking about?
Well, let me talk about the set real quick. I got it from my homeboy Beats by Custom Made out of Chicago, 1 to 12. I'm gonna try to convince him to do another run of these. So if anybody's interested, drop a message, comment along, let me know, and we can get you all tightened up also.
All right.
That's what's up.
Any other shameless plug we're gonna do?
Well, doesn't somebody got a cookbook?
Oh, this is what you're talking about right here? Plant-based family recipes. You can get this on caribsensations.com. Over 70 plant-based recipes in here to get you started on your journey. You can go ahead at caribsensations.com. Also, you can get some sea moss that's available too. We'll get that right out to you, as well as sea moss gel. And also, if you are in the local Lauderhill area or any of the surroundings area, stop by Spartan Martial Arts and Fitness, 4753 North University Drive. Go ahead and check us out. Check out our classes, and we got a lot to offer you. Go ahead to Urban Country Films and check out. All the information will be there.
All right, we got a caller back. We got a caller back on the line.
All right.
All right. What's up, caller?
Yeah, back on. You're live, caller.
Yeah, no, I wanted to just like call back and, you know, on a more calm headset. But, you know, with the, for example, the I hear mention about the law enforcement people who got moped out sitting in the car and all of that. Like I said, I lived in the Bronx, and people can see these things and look at the law enforcement office and be like, yo, they just sitting there and they're innocent. But you have gangster police. You got police who run drug gangs in the Bronx, so every once in a while they have to come pick you up, you have to pay them. I have police, because a police officer, and I got receipt, I have to stop my job. I used to drive trucks, and I got pulled over, and police officers tell me, hey, we're missing out. This is in New Jersey. We are missing out on the action because all of the drivers are staying on 81, bypassing New Jersey, coming back into New York. We will pay you to go to California or Arizona, find somebody to supply you with cocaine, and we'll pay you to distribute it in New York, Connecticut, or Massachusetts. We'll pay you $10,000 a month, and you don't have to worry because you got the biggest security behind you. Because of that, when I left, I didn't respond to the officer. They issue a warrant for my arrest by issuing me an EPA violation ticket, suspending my license in New Jersey. When I called, they're like, you have to come in order to rectify this. I had to spend a lot of fucking money to get that, and I was just an innocent man doing my business, and they want me to fucking sell drugs.
And
So
that,
trust police.
and I got you, and I understand that 100%, caller, 100%. And I can't. You like you said, you have your receipts. So
I don't think anyone's disagreeing with
nobody's disagreeing with that.
You got any objections with that, John?
Here's my thing. Here's my thing, caller. While I have you here, please don't hang up. You see, we all are products of our environment. And I want to ask you a question because you call, as you call back. Have you ever had a good experience with an officer?
Yes. I know how to deal.
No. I'm not talking about no. I'm talking about no. I'm talking about a good experience where you can say an officer has done something for you.
Done something for me?
Yes.
In terms of what?
In terms of anything in life. In terms of anything in life. Officer, I'll call her. In terms of anything in life. Anything in life. Can you look at anywhere in your life and say, yo, an officer did this good for me? For me, personally. Can you say that?
In the context of the job or in the context of being a human
Okay,
being.
caller, you took too long to answer. Shows me that you cannot say yes. Now that proves my point. Wait, sir. I'll let you talk. Let me give me a minute. We are all products of our environment. Like I said before, I can point to officers that has raised me. I can point to them, right? That has showed me how to. Wait, officer. Wait, caller. I can point out Uncle Barnes, who taught me how to be a man. He instilled things in me that other men didn't do when no other man was around. But what I'm trying to say, no, I'm not confusing the two. What I'm trying to tell you is, we all can view things differently.
He made a good point right there when he said it's a human being. He made a good point when he said it's a human being who happens to have the occupation as an officer.
Right.
But how come that doesn't apply to other people?
You look at the nature of your job. First and foremost, what would possess somebody to be a police officer? Either you want to become a upstanding citizen to change the rules. The first thing he should have done after basic training is realize that the shit that he's signing is contrary to whatever his idea about law enforcement is. Therefore, if he continues in that job, that negates his whole intention.
But is he basing that off of New York, where he has his experience?
What I'm trying to say is, officer, caller, regardless of what, you're basing that off of your life. You're basing that off of your experiences. No, you're right. You're basing that off of your facts. Your facts, right? Those are your facts that you're basing that off of.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes. Yes.
If a person, okay, create a law that says that you are less than a human, all the people who subscribe to that law by default agrees with that. So if a police officer who is a decent human being decides to be a police officer, after he realized the code of silence, the blue code of silence, any law enforcement officer who is here knows about the fucking blue code of silence. After he read or sign in to that brotherhood, okay, once you become a part of that fucking brotherhood, then it negates your humanity because you took an oath that no matter what, this brotherhood comes first. And that makes you, in my eyes, less apt off a fucking human being.
I understand.
I don't care if you're a decent person
Right.
and you're nice
Okay.
to people, you can call that because that's your humanity. But the core of what you signed up for is evil, and because of that, it negates everything else humanity-wise. And that's all I have to say on that.
And that's fine. And I'm not trying to listen. And I'm not trying to change your mind. And that's perfectly okay. You can feel that way 100%. And I'm not trying to change your mind. What I'm trying to tell you is you feel that way because of your life
You
experiences.
feel that way because of experience.
You feel
though.
that
It's
way because
experience
of
that-
your caller. We can't both talk at the same time, and I'm gonna take you off of the mic because I have the control. So I've let you speak. What I'm trying to say is we all in life have different experiences. Your experiences lead you to make you believe the way you believe and make you think the way you believe.
Police and bad.
Regardless of regardless of these are your experiences, correct? That made you believe like that. Are they my experiences that made you think like this, caller? Are they my experiences that made you feel like this, or your experiences that made you feel like this?
No, you're acting off of feelings. And I heard somewhere that what do you call it? Let's talk freedom. Forget your feelings. You're talking about facts.
Yes, and I'm telling you facts. I'm telling you facts. Police officer Uncle Barnes is the first stand-up man I knew in my life.
You're sharing your experience. Listen.
No,
You're sharing your experience.
That's my experience, right? That's why
Right, that's your. Hold on,
and the
but
caller
listen,
sharing his.
But listen, you're sharing
we
your.
ain't getting nowhere, so I gotta go.
You're sharing your experience.
All right, bye.
He's
All right,
sharing
go on.
his. You're sharing your experience, and he's sharing his.
Right.
Everything that he says, like, there's nothing necessarily that I disagree with when it comes to that. But, you know, we're talking about a whole different thing here.
Right.
Like I said, you just have to see the video to understand. Once you see the video, you'll understand where I'm coming from. There's nothing the caller said that is disagreeable when it comes to that. There are crooked cops out there.
Absolutely.
Yes, the institution does need reform. Yes, there are good
Absolutely.
people that sign up with it, but you know, there's good people in a bunch of places that are corrupt. However, New York, look at the state of New York right now. New York, it has one of the most probably corrupt police systems in the country.
Got movies about that shit.
Yeah, exactly. They make movies about New York itself. Like that's now you're taking the probably one of the worst parts. And don't get me wrong, he was in the trenches in one of the worst parts.
Yeah,
so Dre,
you hear from the stories.
Listen, Dre, all the stuff you talking about police experience and this and that, he can't relate to that.
Yeah, I know.
Remember, he shared his experience, and it was a whole.
Different experience, right?
But it doesn't change the fact of what happened in the video that I'm talking about. Like I said, had he tackled her to the ground, probably would have still been alive right now. Maybe she would have had a little bit of bruises. You can't give someone a pass like that. That could have been, anybody in that situation. You know what I mean? And it's gotten to the point right now where we really have to look at these things. We really have to look at these things with a clear head.
I know
and not
one
let
thing.
the emotions rise. And
Hold on. Before you get into that, we got to take a small commercial break, pay the bills, pay the sponsors and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
People repeat history. Welcome. I am your host, Michael, and this is Solution. A platform where we discuss ideas and finding solutions to the issues we face as a people. Statistically, our situation has not improved much over the past couple of 100 years. I intend to
fix that. We like to believe history repeats itself, when in actuality, it is people who repeat history. Let's stop doing that.
Back.
And we are back.
Back.
All right, what other topics do we have for tonight? Cause we kind of ran off with this one.
For real, we took a whole hour on that.
Yes, sir. So
And
what
this
else
shit
we got
happened like
going on?
last year.
I'm officially bored.
Dude, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off.
Bored.
No, I'm pissed off. Let me tell you. Brent.
Why you pissed off? Because they canceled Pepe Le Pew?
Nah, bitch, fuck Pepe Le Pew. Brett Bloom has been arrested on several counts of child pornography. Bloom's current judicial assignment on the bench of Milwaukee County's Children's Court. The reason for this asshole's arrest, not only is he he's on the bench of a children's court, he's also former president. Let me make sure I say this right. The former president of the Drag Queen Story Hour Foundation.
What the?
His arrest was for child pornography.
Hold on. Repeat that from the beginning. You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. Say that. Hold on.
Mr. Asshole, Brent Bloom, it's B-L-O-M-M-E, has been arrested on several counts of child pornography.
Brent Bloom, who is he again?
He is the Milwaukee Court Children's Court Judge.
Milwaukee Court Children's Court Judge. All right.
And the former president of Drag Queen Story Hour Foundation.
Wow. And he's caught on what? Say it again.
Child pornography.
Okay.
Child pornography.
Burn him at the stake.
All right. Where is this said individual at this current moment?
Supposed to be in he's in custody.
In custody?
Milwaukee County.
Milwaukee County?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna let someone else take it. There's no justifying this for me. I have a zero tolerance when it comes to anyone who is involved with children in any kind of adult manner. There's a zero tolerance for it. And if I do end up going to jail, it'll probably be for ridding the
Let me turn my camera
it'll
on.
probably be for ridding the earth of one of these said individuals.
Let me
So
turn my camera back on.
I can't really I have nothing nice to say about that. Honestly, I hope they put him to sleep.
You see,
Just like if dogs can get put to sleep for hurting a child, people can get put to sleep too.
that's too easy. You see, this person put himself in two different positions. Where's the camera?
Right there. See it? It's right there.
This one. I got a couple cameras. This one. He put himself in positions to take advantage of innocent fucking children that
There's
can't do
certain
no
things
better.
that don't need to go to court. There has to be
The
a
other day
purge.
we talked about a story, and John was tripping and we was talking about the thief on the line, with the fucking thief that they caught stealing shit off the clothesline.
Yeah.
This motherfucker asshole put himself in a position to where he's a judge.
There's a difference between people and items.
Ah, man. This shit is,
An
bro.
example is an example.
People aren't items. Well, they shouldn't be.
Oh, this is. I mean, this is not a comparison. I'm not comparing. This is nowhere near a comparison.
Is there any way we could put the
I'm just
name on the
saying,
screen?
putting this motherfucker to sleep is too easy. Lethal injection and shit like that is too easy.
hey man, I'm with you. I like.
Got to keep re-administering them COVID.
I think they should bring back stoning for people like this.
Bruh, I can't, like, there's no, and anyone, let me tell you something right now, anyone who tries to justify this shit, because I'm hearing people saying that pedophilia is now some kind of sexual orientation. I have a zero tolerance for anyone like
Come
that.
around me saying that.
You're
Fuck
talking
you
to
up.
someone,
Come around me with that shit.
Kids, trains kids. You know what I mean?
They're called
in martial arts. Like
attracted person.
Teaching them discipline, teaching them everything, looking at them go from young kids all the way to adults. And then my son was on the wrestling team his freshman year. And you know what happened his freshman year at Taravella? This the wrestling coach got arrested for being with a minor. The coach for the wrestling team. That was the last year he wrestled.
Yo, you know what? And that's another thing. That's another good thing that came out of. To me, that's another good thing that came out of COVID, bro. Because there's a lot of sick people out here in the world that put themselves in these positions to where they can take advantage of these children. COVID got a lot of these kids home.
This is why. These are the things that bother me about, like the gun laws that they're trying to pass. If you're of sound mind, you should be able to have a firearm to protect yourself from these individuals. There was a thing that I saw where there was a guy who and honestly, I love the outcome of this video because they acquitted this guy. This guy was molesting this other guy's son, and then he got off. Let me tell you, the father waited in the lobby.
Got him in the head.
And as soon as he walked past, he blew his brains out. And it's like a tear of
that shit happened in like the 80s, right? That happened on live TV.
Like I felt he can't change what happened to his son, but he rid the world of this monster. That's the only way you could describe it. He's a monster. You know what I mean? And this is when the system fails. When the system fails like that, and someone takes it into their own hands. And the thing is, after he shot, he gave them the gun. He got arrested. He got put in handcuffs. But you know what? I respect that dude. He's probably, I don't know how long it happened. He's probably still in jail right now if he didn't die yet. But my thing is, he should have got off for it. He in that moment, as a father, and something like that happens to your child, what do you expect? Especially if you find out that the individual is going to be put back on the streets.
Listen, man. At some point, you got to take justice in your own hands.
And this person that you're talking about now,
this is what I'm talking about. I don't want to get off this. I don't want to get off of this dickhead right here because this is current, and I want to make sure he doesn't slip through the cracks. Because what's really crazy to me, why isn't this out in like why isn't everybody talking about this? Where's this story in mainstream media? Man, hold on, man.
Probably got a lot of pedophiles in mainstream media. That's why we gotta create our own shit.
Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. How do I make this bigger?
I'm sorry, man. That there's nothing funny about it.
Y'all can see it or not. Y'all probably won't be able to see it, bro. Start virtual camera. Y'all can see it?
Oh.
All right.
I don't see anything.
All right. Well, the audience can see it, right? So let me explain to you what's on the screen, guys. There's a little looks like a boy that's dressed in a rainbow, looks like a dress. Looks like he's about 2 with another adult that's bringing him in front of this thing, this cross-dressing thing that's at this drag queen story hour Bullshit.
Why do you have to read to children? Do
Right.
what it is. Do what it is you want to do amongst the people that share the same ideas or whatever you want to do. But why do you have to present that in front of children?
The child looks so scared in his eyes. Like the child looks deathly afraid, and the adult is like, "Oh no, it's okay." And then they show this dickhead's mugshot in the corner.
Send me the picture.
Like,
it's in Discord. I sent it to you in Discord. Where you want me to send it to?
That's fine.
It's in the urban country. I mean in the this show chat.
Are we gonna like everybody discuss this, or is this just like an inclusion thing?
My bad, bro.
It's always an inclusion thing, man. Jump in.
Nah, man. Like,
permission.
Lucha barely been able to say like 2 damn words, man. Fuck. I'm sorry. Like every time I try to say something, it just gets blown off. And
talk about it, John. Talk about it. Get us a line, bro.
Which one you want me to talk about? You want me to talk about the subject or like what's going on?
I want to talk about the dickhead.
Okay.
Man, floor is on me. Talk about what you want.
Okay, so real quick, should drag queens not be able to read?
Not to kids.
Why?
Why not?
Why do they have to go read to kids?
Nobody's forcing a child or the parents to take the child to the reading session. It's more upon the parent.
But why do these things happen in the schools?
Well, I mean, that's like, who's gonna say white dudes with tattoos named Lucci can't read in public? Out to whoever will come listen. That's it, man. They don't.
I mean, one thing you really got to know about the LGBTQ community is they care about children, bro. They literally care about children. There's none of that pedophilia or bullshit going on.
Kiss my ass with that bullshit. I don't want to hear it. Kiss my ass with that bullshit. Y'all can't reproduce. Y'all can't reproduce. How the fuck y'all care about children? Kiss my ass with that shit.
Man.
You're purposely making yourself not be able to reproduce, and in the same breath, you're gonna tell me you care about children? Kiss my ass.
Well, it's not like they can't reproduce. They just choose not to go through the physical aspect of it.
But you care about children.
Hold on. I know a stud chick that got 3 kids.
Don't piss on me up on my fucking foot and tell me it's raining, bro.
I know a stud chick with 3 fucking kids.
Yeah,
she got 3 boys.
Right.
And there's a bunch of other studs like that.
Yeah, now she's a stud. I know plenty.
Nah,
Listen, my sister is married to a woman that has 3 kids.
Wait. Do any of you own animals?
Listen, I'm not going to talk about animals and humans together about like what. Okay, well, yes, I own an animal. Yes.
You cannot birth an animal, but yet you still give it love. I mean, come on, man. This part of like for some people,
bro. You're my homeboy. I love you. But that doesn't mean I want to fuck you, dude.
Are you sure you're getting like real serious?
I'm serious than a heart attack, dog. I'm serious than a heart attack. This is you give it an inch, and you gotta get it an inch, and you got a judge that's the same fucking that's over here. This man put himself in this position, bro. We opened the gates for this shit. You gotta close the gate at some point, man. You got to close the gate at some point, bro.
Who gets to decide? Who gets to actually decide who's allowed to read the fucking kid? Who?
Here's the thing. Do we still have the choice as a parent to take our children out of these situations if we see fit?
Yeah. Don't take them.
All right. So if that is maintained, and me as a parent still have the right to raise my children how I see fit.
So if that is maintained,
and the children that I'm around, and the children that, like my thing is, if this is the way it's gonna be, because I don't know if you guys know, but they're making it harder and harder to homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much red tape coming, so many things happening that they're making it harder. My question is, why are they doing that? Why are they taking out the alternative? If this is the direction you're going, leave the alternative open for people who don't want to go that route. it's being pushed. It's to the point now where it was live and let live. Then it was we just want to exist. Now we're knocking at your door. Now we're kicking down your door. Now we moving furniture around and you got to move the fuck out. That's where we're at. You keep giving a little and this is where we end up.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You keep on giving and giving and giving until there's no more giving. Well, I got a caller.
I'm just
on the
saying,
line.
how do you? All right.
Caller, you live.
Yo,
Yeah.
you know me, man. When it comes to the children, I hear John is saying that, you know, what's wrong with that? There's an aspect of children that have no parents to speak up for them and don't even are able to discern if what is going on for them.
And
I have a personal example of how this is really. My woman worked in corporate America, in retail to be exact. And one of her co-worker is a homosexual man, live at home with a man, and adopt 2 children, and the children are under 10, and started deciding that they don't want to be the sex they are, and started to take steps to change the sex of those children. These things are repugnant, and I believe that if you choose to go into a relationship where you cannot two of you together reproduce, you have no business getting people's children. And if you do this and do things like this, you deserve to lose your life. That's how I look at things like that, because these are damaging children, and these things don't need to be debated.
Look, don't hurt kids, but that's how to raise them.
What are you saying, John?
Oh, you can't hear me?
Nah, come closer.
Caller, he's gonna reply to you on the air. John's gonna reply to you on the air. All right. Yeah, I mean, I listen, man. This is touchy for me.
Hold on,
bro.
let John get some airtime.
I get it. The dude's fucking actions were evil. Anybody that did it doesn't have to be a cross dresser, man. I mean, or a drag queen or whatever. Anybody that touches kids. But what I'm saying is, caller was just saying about, you know, being parent and allowing you to partake in this kind of stuff. How can you tell anybody you have the absolute answers and your way of parenting is right?
That's what
But that's not what we're saying.
That's not what
though.
we're saying, John. What we're saying is these people, this
I
asshole
reserve
put himself.
the right.
Wait, let me one second. I'm gonna get to you next. This asshole put himself in a position to where he could take advantage of the children that doesn't have the parent to look out for them.
So the reading is for kids without parents. Orphans.
No. Okay, so he is a former president of that.
If you go by Snopes says that's incorrect. He worked for something called the Cream City Foundation, which is a community-based Milwaukee foundation.
Bro, they got so the
Let me tell you
picture that I
something.
just showed is not
Can
him.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
No,
real
the
quick?
picture is him, but they're saying on Snopes, and we all know that. Do your own research. Snopes is saying that he had no involvement with the drag queen reading hour or whatever the fuck it is.
So that's not him sitting in front of the fucking kids reading.
No,
that wasn't him. The picture that I just showed reading, that wasn't
the mugshot was him, but he wasn't part of.
But he wasn't.
He was part of a different organization.
Okay, so do me a favor. Verify. Yeah. Look in the Discord and verify that picture that I just put on the screen of the guy dressed like a woman reading to the kid, and with the adult coercing the child that it's okay. And that's my other problem, John, is that, and I'm coming to you, DeVar, next still, is that the media is now trying to make it wrong for people like me to say that shit is fucked up. Because it's fucked up.
It's more than that. They're trying to make it so that you cannot govern your household the way you see fit.
Exactly.
That's where my problem is.
Even worse.
That's where the problem comes in.
I'm not letting it get that far.
In your house, the way you see fit as a parent, you should have the right, think about it. There's people who do things based on their religion. They want to bring their children up within that religion. Now they're making it to the point where if you don't follow certain rules or guidelines on a collective level, you are a problem. And I disagree with that 100%. I cannot support that.
Dre, here's what it is. The Drag Queen Story Hour was brought in by the Cream City Foundation. This dude worked for the Cream City Foundation. He did not work for the Drag Queen Story Hour. That's not him in the picture. No.
What did that foundation do?
As a drag queen and some lady with her child. So he worked for a different organization that allowed the other organization to come in. And
to me, it's not even about the organization.
How does that enriches a child's life?
About one second.
See a drag queen.
To me, it's about letting you know that shit is wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. If you're a man, you're a goddamn man. You were born a man, and you're a fucking man. All of this transsexual shit and changing from what God intended you to be, you're fucking wrong. And that's the problem. We stop once you see that society has made it wrong for me to not be able to speak my mind and let my children know how wrong that is. That's my problem. I'm cutting the line right there. So it ain't getting no further than that with me.
What are you saying, John?
That now you're encroaching on someone else's freedom.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. They can do whatever they want, but they're not going to change my mind. They could do what they want.
John, is it okay for him to reserve the right to think and implement to the people that he's responsible for how he sees fit?
Hey, look, man, everybody can raise their kids however they want to raise their kids. I don't believe in the whole, what is it? Preconceived notions, and I don't try to teach the kids how to hate anything. Like even when my oldest was younger and we seen a gay guy, but he asked me, Daddy, why is he like that? And I'm just like, that's his preference. I like girls. And I left it at that.
But that's the thing. There's a certain level. Hold on.
That's his preference, but it's wrong.
Hold on.
But it's only wrong to you.
There's a certain. Hold on. There's a certain, to a certain degree. There's a way that this develops on its own. You knew in school who was gonna be gay. They could try to hide it all they want. You knew. You know what I mean? Like it was, and don't get me wrong, some people are probably very good at hiding it, but you always had that suspicion about certain people. Now, what I'm saying is, just like how we probably have friends and family members who are, whether they're men or women, there was a point that it developed on its own. When you're at the point now to where you're talking to the most easiest influenced people in society are children.
Yep.
When you're putting a certain image in front of them, you don't understand the impact that matter of fact, they do understand the impact that can have from an early age on. They use this idea that they're trying to teach them tolerance from an early age. But like I said, if they are going to be, there's nothing you can do about it. Once it develops, it's going to develop on its own. However, now I feel they're at a point now where it's kind of being manufactured. The easiest influence people, I'm gonna tell you something again, and there's always pedophiles involved with this stuff, man. I used to go to a gym. It was called Ironworks Gym and Fitness back in the days. The first gym I started lifting at. There was a dude in there, huge dude. And for some reason, like everyone looked up to him and he was the guy like, damn, you know, you want to be like him. And he would encourage you, lift a little more, you know, make sure you have your protein shakes, your creatine and all that other bullshit that I don't take now. You know what I'm saying? But it was to the point where he was very influential to a lot of us young males that were around him. I lost contact for a few years. FBI came to my job, showed me pictures and said, do you know him? I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's Coach. I haven't seen him in years. I used to go to Ironworks Gym and Fitness. Yeah. Do you know this guy? They showed me a white dude who was with him. The dude was a huge black dude. And I was like, no, I don't know that guy. Like, well, we're looking for him. Okay. What's going down? Well, he had a shrine on his wall of all of the teenage boys that were in the gym, including me, on his wall. And they found on his computer pornography with minors. This was one of the most influential people in that gym.
That's what I'm saying. These sick people put themselves in these positions.
Hear me out, because you didn't see that coming. This was a man's man. Like when you look at him, you like, that's why you can't like, you can't just judge a book by its cover. No, I did not see this coming at all. And then when he got found, he's in jail right now. You know what I'm saying? My point is, we went from that to where he really was on his P's and Q's and really like tiptoed around and finally got caught in what he was doing. And then I started putting 2 and 2 together. I'm like, man, I known this dude since I was 15. And he would always like point at the girls in the gym like, hey man, you like that girl? Or you like this? And he would always like try to figure out like what the young boy's interests are and try to act like he's a friend to you. You get what I'm saying? Like he played that psychology game. The one thing that saved me from that situation, my dad. You know what I mean? My dad said, yo, you're going to the music school, you're going to the gym, call me when you're ready. This dude used to offer me rides home. My dad was like, yo, call me when you're ready, I'll pick you up. Oh no, my dad's coming, I'm good. And I would just wait. Sometimes I would wait late. I would go back to the music school. You know what I mean? But my dad had that influence on me.
Now, how about the other kids? How about the kids that didn't have that? Didn't have
some
that
of the
ride?
Same kids is what I'm saying. They're the most easily influenced. And when it comes to stuff like this, it's crazy. Now you're dealing with, honestly, this whole story time thing, I'm sorry. I can't. I personally don't agree with it. And I personally cannot support it. If they want, whoever willingly brings their child to something like that, it's on you. Whatever happens, and if you're willing to accept whatever the outcome is, it's on you. I'm not going to try to stop you from what you're doing, but my point is, do not stop me from raising mine the way that I see fit, and that's what's happening now. People like me are being looked at like I'm toxic masculinity or intolerant or this and that. No, I'm saying do what you do to stay off my lawn. That's it. Let me govern my little piece of land the way that I want to. Now we got to watch what we put on TV. Why do you think this is spilling over into children cartoons and children? Why is it always the little stuff? Sesame Street. They're saying Bert and Ernie is gay now. Like what? How does that enrich a child's life?
Tolerance.
These are the people in society that cannot. The people in society that cannot engage in sex because they're not fully developed yet are now making decisions on what sex they are.
Right.
Right, man. I don't think they should be pushing the sexuality agenda at such a young age. I'm with you. I don't think any public forum should be doing that. I'm scared to death about sex ed coming up for the kids.
Bro, sex ed, they used to show like the worst stuff at all. Like, you know, dude's mushroom tip got all this foam on it and everything. And they say don't, you know what I'm saying? It just be some crazy shit. Now, oh my gosh.
So we need to take one more break. We gotta take one more break at the 9:30, and then we'll wrap this up and go to the next.
Cool. What's going on, everyone? Devar here. Some of you know me as Professor D. Some of you know me as Debo. Right now, it doesn't matter how you know me. I want to bring some information to you. Today, I want to let you guys know that we will be going live every Thursday. I want you to clear your schedules at 8 o'clock every Thursday. The show is called Let's Talk Freedom, and the topic that we're going to be discussing this Thursday is religions. Do all paths lead to the same destination? Come and take a deep dive with us. Let's get into this subject, and I look forward to seeing you guys there. Peace and love, and see you Thursday. How long is it?
We're back. It's over.
We are back, folks. Welcome back, and we're wrapping up the topic.
It's an old commercial anyway.
We're wrapping up the topic of, I guess we're saying drag queens reading to kids.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's more than that, bro. It's deeper than that. It's a whole lot, bro. The sexual.
I don't see how that
leave the
enriches
sexual
a child's
shit
life.
out of the children's life. Leave the sexual shit out of the children's life.
I'm
like, leave it out.
Look,
100%.
I have a cousin whose child at 10 years old said, "Mommy, I think I'm a girl," and she fully embraced it and she went along with it. I personally think like, nah, you should chill on that. Tell them like, yo, wait till after high school. Like, let them develop their personality, really who they are, and let them experiment later on in life. And
who's he around more?
His mom.
I gotta say one thing. I gotta say one thing before we move too far for the next subject. I had an epiphany on air because on the last subject,
once bread becomes toast, it can never be bread again.
Facts.
Okay, but I'm not toast.
No, I'm just saying
I'm just saying, I've had an epiphany. But so, no, because I was in a little bit of a disagreement with the caller to where the caller was trying to say, listen, when you are a part of a system that is a corrupt system, no matter how good you are, you're still a part of that system.
Okay.
If that's the case, a lot of shit got to shut down.
I feel, you see, because of, I guess, I feel so strongly about this because of the children and the whole, I've been a vulnerable child. You know what I'm saying? And there were like a few people at those early ages that saved me from situations by instilling a little bit of knowledge. So I really appreciate that. And I get what the caller was saying. And I feel the same damn way when it comes to this whole LGBTQ thing. And regardless of the people in my family that I have, that I know, rather whether your family or your friends or whatever the case, I don't have no less love for you, but that whole shit just from beginning, I can't agree with it, and I'm drawing my line. It's as wrong can be. It goes against all the laws of nature. John, earlier you brought up animals.
Yeah.
There is no freaking species that is trying to do away with themselves by not reproducing and going with the same sex.
People are people. They're going to do what they want. You can't control that shit.
No, I'm not going to try to control it, but I am going to speak out against it.
Okay, that's your prerogative, man.
Yeah, and I'm going to. And you know what I mean? That's why that's why we build platforms, so we can combat bullshit.
I mean, speaking out against it, I guess, I think at this point it's kind of, too far gone for that. I think it's more about governing yourself how you see fit and preserving those rights for yourself, because
Yeah.
those are what are getting attacked right now.
Yeah, but
And
what about like, the caller? The caller just had the same caller send a text that when if and when pedophilia becomes legal, because just like how somebody brought it up earlier in the show, pedophilia is now being challenged to be a sexual orientation.
which I
It's
will
the
never
same
accept, by
police.
the way.
It's
And I'm
the
not
same-
suicidal.
But it's the same police that's going to be enforcing these laws.
When that day comes, we're gonna have an issue.
I don't think that day will ever come. There's too many people that would oppose that shit.
You gotta prepare for it. I'm preparing for it. I don't take anything. I don't put anything past anyone. You know what I mean? And yeah, we can say that day will never come, but I'm not gonna wait for that chance to come. You got to make provisions now and prepare yourself for what's coming down the pipeline. You never know what can happen, and I'm not just gonna dismiss it. It's a very scary thing to me, not because I think that it's going to affect me. I'm already grown. My thoughts are pretty much cemented, even though I'm still learning on certain things, but I'm learning about technology and growth and self-growth as a human being. And these are traits that I want to pass down to my children. And I have to be very careful of the influences that come into their mind. I want them to be able to develop from an early stage to adulthood. And then once they're able to make certain decisions on their own, have at it. I know I'm not going to agree with everything, but at least I want to reserve that right to have that foundation the way that I see fit, as other people do. You can't, they want to do something, but yet they're telling you you're wrong for wanting to do the same thing because it doesn't fit their narrative. That's the problem that I have. Because something, what happened?
Two sides of the same coin. I mean, you're talking the same thing about something that they're doing that you don't condone. I'm not talking about pedophilia.
But I'm not trying to stop them, is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to stop what they're doing. However, when it reaches my house, I should have the right to object as the head of household.
And I a little bit of disagree with that though, because somebody needs to protect the children. So I wouldn't give a damn if it's my lawn or the next door neighbor's lawn.
Your next door neighbor has to be on that same page. And
I
if your
wouldn't give a
next door
damn
neighbor,
if the next door. I don't care, because the child can't listen. The child cannot fend for himself.
I understand that.
So if
But
the
now-
if the next, I don't give a damn. I don't care.
But you can't.
The child cannot defend for themselves. And listen, whatever I got to do, yeah, I'm protecting the children, bro. I'm protecting the children, bro. Damn that.
I agree.
Damn that, bro.
But here's the thing:
I don't
in
give a
order
damn.
to protect the children, the way that things are set up right now, whoever is in control of those children needs to be on the same page.
So wait a minute. You mean to tell me? Hold on a minute. You mean to tell me I see one of y'all molesting one of y'all children, and I'm not supposed to chin check one of y'all fuck niggas?
That's a different story. That's a whole
I
different
don't give a
story.
damn if it was. So what's the same thing
No,
if it's
listen,
a goddamn
listen.
stranger?
Listen. When we're talking about physical contact, all bets are off. Listen to me good. When we talking about physical contact, all bets are off.
So that's
wherever you see it happening, you handle it. My thing is, what I'm talking about is the dialogue and the mentality. Some people are so far gone, but when it comes down to it, it's like, and they've already reached the physical, anything physical that you see that is the endangerment of a child
But like
needs
you
to be
just pointed
stopped.
out, Navar, these people are smart as hell. These people tiptoe around and they move and they leech and they try to use the psychology and they try to fix. So 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna see the physical contact. So it needs to get stopped before that.
But you just made a point. I'm saying you brought up if you see something like that happening, and I said I'm 100% with you.
Right. So what I mean is like,
Something
okay,
like
so
that
solutions. So solution. So what I mean is like we need to be more aware as a people that things like this go on, like stories like you just told, really happen in real life. But when you tell people things like that, you're conspiracy theories, and now you have a freaking child's judge. You can't say it's a conspiracy theory no more.
Look at Jared from Subway, man.
Yeah.
I ain't
Look
think
at
that
that.
dude was gonna be molesting little kids. And
Right. And like you said, it's not obvious.
My point
It's not
now, it was
obvious.
overt before, now it's blatant. There's a big difference now. Before it was kind of overt. It was kind of like you couldn't tell. When it hit you, it was a shock. Now it's just right in front of you. And the thing is, a lot of these drag queens that are reading to these kids have criminal records.
So-
and it has come
and-
out now. And it's like, how the hell do you have a criminal record that is dealing with minors, but you're allowed to go and read to a minor? I know I'm not the only one who heard that story. Like, shit like that is what pisses
But
me off.
we
because-
don't even have to go that far, though, DeVar. Like you said earlier, what is the reason? What kind of enrichment does it do for a child to have such an impressionable child be read to by a crossdresser, by a freak of nature? Because that's what it is.
what if nobody else is reading to him?
Why can't somebody else with a freaking regular
You
clothes
mean-
on?
You
read
mean
to
the
them?
parents? You mean the parents that are bringing them to see? That's my thing.
Listen, man.
And that's what I'm talking about with. That's what I'm talking about with you too, Dre. Remember, there's parents that are bringing their children to these places.
Yeah.
Why
That's
would you
what I'm
put
saying.
yourself
That's
in a
why-
position?
That's why it needs to be
Listen,
combated. No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It needs to be combated to where it's cut out, to where it's not happening. It's not
Wait.
allowed because these are impressionable children, and all studies show impressionable children. When you put shit in front of their minds like this, they're sponges.
How many times you tried to jump off the roof?
I've jumped off of plenty of roofs.
Thinking you could fly?
No, just jumping off the roof.
Luch, how many roofs you jump off thinking you could fly? Not under any influence.
None.
What about you, DeVar?
I knew better.
I used to do that all the time. We used to do
Yeah, we
flips
should-
off the roof.
Yeah, I've been jumping off of roofs all the time.
Thinking you could fly, right?
Huh?
Thinking you could fly?
No, not thinking I could fly.
Okay,
I wasn't stupid. I was crazy. I wasn't stupid.
How many of you taken a frying pan to one of your friends' faces?
I haven't done that. I took one of the
Are you trying to go? Are you trying to say that? Are you trying to say that you don't children are not? Are you trying to somehow, John, say that children are not impressionable at this age?
I think you should be a parent to your child and teach them.
What about the we're talking about the children that are not in the position that are happy enough to have
Right.
mom or dad at home.
You
Huh?
can't have a civilized conversation. You just want to scream and yell.
Bro, because this shit is so
You're
pissed
not-
off, and
John,
this devil's advocate shit don't work with me on this subject,
Are you-
bro.
are
I
you-
can't do it. I
Are you
can't do
comparing
it,
this to
bro.
cartoons?
I'll let you guys finish the show, man.
You do it
John,
all the
are
time.
you comparing this to Looney Tunes, bro?
Yeah, dude. How impressionable are your children? Now, I'm not talking about pedophiles or anything like that. You teach your fucking kids, man. You teach them. You have your own, in every household, you have your own level of comfort and
I can't do
and what you want to expose your child to. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying that every drag queen or cross-dresser is a pedophile, because I can't assume that, because I'm sure statistically you would be wrong.
I never said that.
No. I'm not saying you did. I'm just reiterating where I'm going with this.
I just don't see how it enriches a child's life. And for me personally, I just reserve that right to raise my children who I see fit.
Exactly, and I don't disagree. I haven't taken my kids to go watch a cross-dresser read books. I read books at home. But I can't sit there and say that I can't see where somebody might take theirs, because maybe they have a more open household. Maybe they haven't had any side trauma within the family or within their community or friends. But to sit there, I can't just fucking damn a whole fucking sexual identity, I guess. And once again, I'm not talking about pedophile.
But how is that damning them though if I don't want to partake?
You're assuming that I'm saying that you are.
Okay. My bad.
I say I agree that you have the right to raise your children how you see fit.
But do you understand that that right is slowly being taken away?
Exactly. I think that's where the problem is.
Because a lot of the times, like the reason why they're trying to take that away from people, which I don't think they should, but a lot of people are preaching the hate aspect of it instead of the like, yo, you don't have to do this. This doesn't have to be for you. You know what I mean? You don't have to partake in it. This does not have to be your life. They want to live that way. Let them live that way. It's got nothing to do with you or your life. It affects you and your life absolutely none.
But that's my point though. At one
people out
point,
there preaching it from
live.
They're preaching it from a hate perspective. If they preached it from a tolerance perspective, it'd be a whole different story.
Dude, we live in America. When has it ever been fucking live and let live?
But that's what I'm saying. That was the argument in the beginning of this whole thing. It was live and let live. Now it's not about live and let live. The supposed group that is the most oppressed, supposedly, wields the most power right now.
And I get that. I get it. I agree.
And that power is being used. It's not even about the power that they wield. It's how the power is being used to influence parents and household that they weren't thinking about it before. They already have a certain way that they want to govern their household. And now those rights are being taken away. And a lot of these same people who, honestly, there was probably a lot of these people whose rights are being taken away who supported this in the beginning. And now that it's reached their doorstep, they see that it's a problem, and now they want to backtrack. My thing is, I had the same stance on this from the beginning. My whole thing is, when it comes to children, why is it so hard to leave them out of anything pertaining to sex and sexuality? Why is that so hard? Why is that even a fight? To leave children out of sex and sexuality. I'm not even talking about teenagers. I'm talking about children.
Look at it like
single digits.
Look at it like this. We gender our children from the get-go, and we raise them according to what those genders are supposed to be, correct?
No, you
right?
Like myself, when I found out I had a son, I bought him a shit ton of Hot Wheels, a shit ton of cars and everything. You have a daughter,
but here's the thing.
You buy her a doll. You teach them to be mommies, you teach them to be daddies and everything like that. So they have that, what we're used to, what we call the normal thing, put into their mind. So if you think about it, we're training them from the get-go. But when it comes to like overt sexuality and all that shit, I most definitely say like, yo, we should let kids be kids. Don't necessarily fucking say like you have to be this way, you have to be that way.
Cram it down their throat, man.
But do you understand? Do you understand that that is exactly what's happening? Look at Dwayne Wade now with his son, who is now supposed to be a daughter.
That's something I am against, because that's a whole different
I'm against
story.
it 100%.
Like my cousin is doing the same thing. I'm like, yo, let your kid grow up a little bit more. Let them experience shit before they make these life-altering decisions.
Dude,
where was that seed planted in his mind?
You shouldn't be able to mutilate your sexual organs until you're fucking 18.
I'd say,
but here's the thing.
That you need to live some more life, like have the experiences and say like, yo, yes, this is really what I want. Yeah. Doing it young, I feel causes like an injustice to you because of the amount of people that has transitioned and completely ruined their lives from it and fought to retransition back.
But it's not just about feelings anymore. Now laws are being put in place to where you can have a certain upbringing and a certain outlook on life, and now laws are being put in place to where if you look at someone and they happen to look like a typical gender that you're used to seeing, and you say the wrong thing innocently, it becomes a problem now. My thing is, how far does it go? Not everyone out there is trying to what do they say, like mislabel or whatever the case is, like, or misgender or something like that. Now it's like you have a lot of people wielding a lot of power, but they're a very emotional group of people. And now it's to the point where anything you say and do that they don't agree with, you're deemed some kind of phobic, whatever phobic. And it has nothing to do with that. People do not consider that there's people that were raised different. I'm from a small island out there in the Caribbean.
Pretty big.
And I came here and I was raised here. And my outlook is a lot different. But my biggest influence was my father. My mother was there, and I love my mother. But I looked at my dad and I saw myself. I looked at my dad when he used to flex, and I used to try to squeeze his muscle, and it was so hard. And it's like I wanted to grow up and be that. This is what I'm talking about, how important influence is on a child. I looked at him and I saw me.
And remember, there's no greater influence than a parent. And as long as everybody out there in the world is a fucking parent to your child, we're not telling you how to parent. We're just telling you fucking parent. You parent your children. You are the biggest influence in their life. You are the reason they come out to be who they come out to be. I told my mom the other day when I got to see her, I'm like, yo, the reason why I work so hard and I do what I do and I have the work ethic that I do is because I learned that shit from you. You worked 3 jobs while raising 2 kids by your fucking self. You had to sacrifice all the time. And that's why me as an adult, I take the time and I'll sacrifice to make sure that my child is provided for. You know what I mean? Like, our parents are the ones that put us in these positions to be these people who we become.
Well,
so long story short, teach tolerance. Don't teach hate. If they want to live that way, let them live that way. If you want to live this way, you live that way.
I got a quick question.
Get along.
Would you guys have been any less of men if you would do listen to a cross-dresser read you a book once?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would. You talking about if I was a child?
Yeah.
Had I had the same influence that I have of my father, I would have thought it weird, and I probably would have went to my dad and asked questions. I wouldn't have disrespected the person because it's an adult, but I would have went to my dad and be like, Dad, why is this person dressed like that?
I mean, honestly, I would have said some shit probably like, no, my mouth as a kid, be like, I let your mom, that's a real ugly lady.
Yeah. Here, and this is what I was talking about. Like, I understand the fear of this coming out because it's strange, it's new, and it's in your face. I don't agree that it should be jammed down everybody's throat. It's not. Nobody's knocking at my door dressed like a lady, being born as a man, and forcing my kids to sit down and listen to a book. And I don't think, even if my son were in passing to listen to a story from a crossdresser, I don't think that's going to greatly impact his life because I'm a constant impact. Exactly. So just like when my oldest asked me why the guy was acting like that when he was gay, I handled it the best I could. And it's not like my son came out highly affected by it. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that happened in passing. And And also getting back on there, I 100% agree. If you see someone encroaching on your children, trying to do them verbally or physical as a minor, I don't care if it's sexual or just aggressive, you should step in. You gotta protect the little guy, anybody's kid. And you should question where that aggression is coming from. But all I'm saying is, fellas, if you have kids and you are a good parent, or if you even have the inclination that you are a good parent, an outside force cannot compare to what you bring to the table.
Exactly.
Dre, don't get mad. I know you're listening.
I mean, generally speaking, I agree with that, but you're still talking about the most impressionable group of people. Some children are more easily influenced than others. And I just think that we need to let them develop, give them the time to develop, because some things you can't necessarily turn back on. You know what I mean? Now they're letting children make the decision. That's a problem to me.
I took my son to a birthday party. And this is how, outside influences and how your influence actually matters. I took my son to a birthday party. They had a table full of candy and gum and everything like that. All the kids are grabbing, taking. My son walks over to me after seeing all these kids grab and take and said, "Daddy, can I have a piece of gum?" I said, "Yeah, go right ahead. You can have a piece of gum." And that'll show you your influence outweighs everybody else's influence as long as you drill it into their head properly.
I mean, 100%.
That's generally speaking, though. When you deal with other situations, I mean, some kids' biggest influence are video games. Remember, I deal with parents. Some single moms that I deal with, they have no control over these boys.
Because their teams are the ones that are raising them. They're not stepping in to fucking raise their kid and limit their time. This violence in the youth in the 90s was contributed to Mortal Kombat and fucking rap music? Or was it just because parents weren't fucking paying attention to their kids?
All right, y'all. We need to wrap things up. We got 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left. Final thoughts, Tavar.
Final thoughts. I would just say this, it was there was a lot of topics that we touched today. We to the people out there listening, we may not agree on everything, but to not be able to voice those opinions, that is definitely a problem. And that's something that I don't agree with at all. I'll speak to anyone. And if anyone disagrees with what I say, we can have a discussion, but I can't consider you if you don't consider me as well. It has to be a mutual thing. Don't try to silence one group of people just because they don't fit the narrative that you go with, or try to say that, they don't have a right to speak on something because it doesn't fit the current climate. I was raised that design denotes function. That's why when I look at my dad, I just knew what I was. Anyone else who feels different, I'm not telling you how to feel. I don't know, nor do I understand your upbringing or influence. I wish you the best on that, but just understand where I'm coming from and respect it.
John, final thought?
Yeah, man. Raise your kids. Don't be a dickhead. Dre, I love you, dude. Don't get mad, man. Come on.
Dre, you got anything you want to finish up with? You got a final thought, Dre?
No, he's outside.
Can't hear you.
Brett Bloomberg has been arrested. 7 counts of child pornography. And this man has put himself in a position to prey on innocent children who don't have fathers like me and the other 3 gentlemen on this panel that can easily say, raise your children.
Well, it's a good thing he got caught and he's going to be thrown under the fucking jail, right? Where he can't do this shit no more. Well, I guess I'm going to run it down real quick. Hopefully all of his victims can come forward and find the justice that they need and get the help that they need. Love y'all. Raise your kids. Don't be a dick. See you next week.